You guys are watching me
Yeah.
now.
Can't take pictures of me because I'm the last princess wearing baba.
Well, let me just see you twirl with the pretty dress. Hold it up while you twirl. That was pretty.
And here we are in New Brunswick at Fundy National Park. Aren't the views gorgeous? Hello. Oh, we can look outside. Oh, see, there's Fundy National Park. See out this window? And there's Fundy National Park. What?
Do you want me to drive down the road so you can take pictures coming down the road?
No, it's okay. You can take pictures if you wanted pictures of that. I'm signing off now. Today, August 12th?
It is.
Okay, well, the date and everything is correct then. That's all.
Bye-bye.
Oh, let's see. Where's the fade? Is that the fade? Yep, that's fade. It's very windy, so I don't know if the audio will come out or not, but this is looking out at the Bay of Fundy at low tide. And there's the water. Which basically comes in and fills in this whole area. We are at Hopewell Rocks area. Susan with her wind-blown hair.
Rick? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, here is Hopewell Rocks, and Susan and I are able to enjoy this all by ourselves. Very real sense of solitude. It is actually, in spite of course, there's so many people here. It's quite beautiful. And formations that sort of stand by themselves. Lost my place, such as that one right there, are really pretty interesting. And of course, we're standing in a spot that's below the water at high tide. And the water's still quite a ways out. And what we factored in was the fact that the tide moves 7 feet per hour, which we equated to about 1.5, depending on what the moon is, 1.5 to 2 inches a minute, that it is actually moving in or moving out, which is why we were able to be able to see the motion of the tide so much yesterday when we were looking around. So we'll do a quick pan, and we'll walk down the beach. We have basically a couple of hours, then we have to get out of here. I certainly don't know how this video is going to, or the audio will come out with all this wind. But it's worth narrating anyway. And the thing that we do not know is whether or not we're looking at Nova Scotia across the bay, or whether that's part of New Brunswick.
I think it's part of New Brunswick. If you look at the map, part of that river.
Oh, so that's New Brunswick across the way? Okay.
Nova Scotia would be out there.
You heard it here, folks. Nova Scotia would be out there somewhere.
People playing in the water. Susie Q's got to go touch her toes to the ocean.
Oh, yeah? Well, Susie Q has to touch her toes to the ocean, so we'll fade out. See how these things have been kind of carved out. That one's pretty narrow at the bottom. There's Susan. Another one, even though you can't tell from here, that one actually, with the tree there, stands alone. Yeah? There's one final shot which shows how narrow it is at the base. I'm going to sit here for a few minutes and try to frame this about the same spot, and just take about a 12-second video or so every 5 minutes just to watch the change of the tide. Or maybe, yeah, I'll start out with 5 minutes. See you later. I feel like I'm barbecuing, taking pictures every 5 minutes here. So, we'll be back in another 5 minutes. I'm not sure if it's visible as far as the color, because I can't tell in the viewfinder here, but the color of the water is truly a muddy red, which is a result of the floor out there, which is not sandy. As you walk out, it's a very red, mucky mud. No other way to describe it. In addition to watching the tide coming in, it's been interesting to watch the ebb and flow of the volume of people coming back and forth. So anyway, going back to the muddy water, Susan walked out and got her feet in the water and places that she just sunk down in. How far do you think you sunk in, Susan? About 4 to 6? Yeah, over her toes in mud. And then she found a little place to wash her feet off. So, bye for now. I'm assuming that the change in the tide is becoming noticeable in the video, because it is certainly noticeable sitting here watching. Susan finally got bored and took a walk, so I'm sitting here on my rock, firmly entrenched, so I can get maybe another 6 to 8 of these. And I just had a couple standing right in front of me for the last 4 minutes, and then just before my timer expired, they decided to move, which was awfully nice of them. The tide keeps on rolling in.
How long it's been?
How long has it been? I think 20 minutes, hasn't it? Or has it been 25? I can't recall. If this is my 5th one, it's 20 minutes total. And another 5 minutes will pass. Is this getting boring, or is this interesting? It's impossible to tell from our perspective, isn't it? We'll have to wait and see. If it's boring, what the heck, we've enjoyed sitting here and watching the tide come in. So there. We were trying to determine if the tide comes in faster at one point than it does others. I think that what it is that it seems like it's coming in faster just because it's closer to us, and so we can see the effects of the change in the tide much more readily. I also might have to eventually stand up on the rock that I'm sitting on, because foot traffic is increasing out here, and because the beach is narrowing, people are coming closer to us. What? No narrative? I've run out of things to say. I'm trying just to let the picture do the talking. That'd be a switch for me. So let anything do the talking other than me. And so that's it for, I don't know, another 5 minutes. We'll do this. How many more times do you want to do this, Susan? 3 more times?
That's up to you.
Yeah, we'll do it at least 3 more times. If it makes sense to adjust my, the positioning of where I'm keeping this, just to, if I stay focused on that one boulder there as my far right, all we see is mostly water. So, we're going to do this 2 more times. We've been watching the tide for what we think is a little over an hour now, or maybe right around an hour. So we'll do 2 more after this. Well, I knew sooner or later I'd have to get up on the rock because of the number of people. And we'll do 1 more after this, and then we'll pan around where we've been sitting for the last hour and 15 minutes or so. Okay, last video. That boulder there was our point of reference, the far right-hand side actually, when we first started. In fact, I think if I do the same kind of a shot where we started, that's about what it was. Pan out and see where the heck we've been all this time. A real pretty formation that stands all by itself right here. You can see that I've been sitting my big putt on that rock for a while. There's a rock that we were watching, this big one right there. We were watching that for some time, and it wasn't but a few moments ago that we were watching for the water to come around and touch. So I guess that's enough. We'll take one last look at it with her. Now what we're looking at is the area that we were watching the tide come in on. In fact, we were sitting right down below these trees here, and I kept panning out beyond this point right here, which is now well underwater, of course, to give you a sense of how much the tide has come in. And this outcropping right here is, yeah, it's where we watch the water coming around the big boulder. These are the flats that I videotaped first thing this morning. It is now 2 o'clock, and I taped this area this morning at about 9:30. And we were looking way out there at all the mud and the water, well, just all the mud and places where the water drained out. And now the water's all the way up here to these marshes, and we're still about an hour and a half away from high tide. Pretty area. And we did determine that if you look across there, the land that's closest to us is part of New Brunswick, and the land in the distance is part of Nova Scotia. Just as a reminder, that's what it looked like this morning. What time were we here? We were here about 9:30? 9:30, 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock maybe?
Yeah, I think because low tide was 9:40. I
Yeah,
think
so it
when we
was
got
about-
out here, it was about 10
It was
o'clock.
about 10 o'clock, so that's the difference in 4 hours from this to this.
It's so pretty lapping up against the salt marshes.
This is again overlooking the area where we were sitting earlier. And in fact, I come around here and get a...
No, yeah, you can.
That's the point that we were watching the tide come in. And it is now about 2:15 a.m. And right down underneath here is where we were sitting, watching the tide come in. That's one of many of those formations.
Yeah.